I thank the organizers. And one question I wanted to raise, Aditi, what you pointed out, are we now tired of talking of gender? I think two things we are not tired of talking. One is the poverty and the other is gender, because these problems have not been solved. So long the problems are there, we should not get tired. Okay, coming back to the BIMSTEC. I think the BIMSTEC 7 states has been defined. Its area, the Aditi did a wonderful job. But energy is one of the core sector of their cooperation. That is important to know. Energy access and energy transition are central to the development of the region. These 7 states or BIMSTEC states. The region is endowed with energy resources, renewables, fossil fuels, hydropower, you name it, and they are all have the energies. But what is the per capita electricity consumption remains very low in many states. And they are uneven states, both in size and both in development and both in the ideology. They are exposed to indoor air pollution, that may be common. They have restrictions, use of energy in productive and reproductive work. They means here I'm talking of the women, why we are talking of gender question and not tired. Then women are also underrepresented in decision making, also in occupational roles. And whether BIMSTEC has done anything about it, they have not done it. I mean, at country level, in their own country, they have been doing something. Bangladesh has done something. India has done something. Nepal has done something. I'm not familiar with other states, but certain Thailand also has done something. But as a region, they have not moved. Then the lack of energy access, where there is abundance of energy sources or renewables and green energy in particular. The women's day-to-day lives are tightly bound by the energy-related burdens of cooking on biomass, collecting firewood, managing household tasks under energy constraints, facing health risk from household air pollution, and being very time poverty poor, time poverty, which is called time poor. So energy, they have the energy needs, but they lack access to energy. That is the important question when we talk of gender and energy, and how, or gender and climate change, how the household air pollution itself really creates a lot of kind of bad carbons. That is the important to recognize. Energy sector workforce, what are the women's? Very poor representation. Studies show that 3 to 15% they are workforce in the energy workforce. Energy utilities related to this workforce are related to energy utilities. Only 11% in rooftop solar panels, which I studied a bit, that while globally 32%. So look at this abundance of the kind of energy resources and where the women are. And women in the technical and engineering roles are even lower, 1% to 21%. So even when we have been talking about a lot of this kind of 30% representation, this 30% representation, where does it go? It needs very much in the energy sector. And I'm not for 30% representation. I'm in proportion of the population, 50% representation. But I said this was the minimum that the government thought would create a critical mass, but that also has not been done. However, there have been some kind of initiatives in policy, programming, action at international, national, and local levels. And they are more kind of country specific and not region wide. This is important to recognize. And that's why we can be very critical of the BIMSTEC, that BIMSTEC as a region has to take this question. Internationally, Sustainable Development Goal 7 says that ensure access to affordable and reliable and sustainable energy for all, for everybody. That is the for all is very, very important. Then overarching principle is of the SDGs are Sustainable Development Goals, leave no one behind. And leave no one behind does not mean only half of the population, it means everybody, vulnerable people, women and men, or everybody. Then there is a Vienna Energy Forum 2021, which reinforced these principles and said sustainable energy for inclusive development and productive capacities. So productive capacities of the have to be built. Of course, we are saying now in feminist economists that household care economy is very productive. Without this kind of production will not go any forward. I mean, it will really stumble and it will die out. So it is a very productive force. But nevertheless, the way it has been treated, the reproductive also, I would use here just to explain the situation. Energy compact, which is the more later kind of thing, latest thing. Energy compact for gender equality and women's empowerment is there. And which is very well would be represented in COP, that what I hear some of my students have gone there from Energia, to accelerate a just, inclusive and sustainable energy transition with two main goals. Energy Compact have two main goals. One is that women have an equal opportunity to lead, participate and benefit from a just, sustainable and inclusive energy transition. So energy transition mein what are their role, how they have played, it is very, very important that need to be seen. And women have, second principle is women have an equal access to control over sustainable energy products and services. Now, these are the energy compacts. These are the things at present are being discussed. And the question is being raised. As a result, some kind of country-specific examples have been introduced, and we have the Ujjwala scheme. We should not really downgrade it by any means. Ujjwala is where the first time India was very much appreciated for taking household energy for the first time into use, kind of thing. How many people, women and children, were dying because of the indoor air pollution, and they now call it household air pollution. So that was
Govind, to interrupt.
Yes, 1 minute, even
sure.
if you give me.
Sorry.
I'm concluding. Then there is a solar sector, which is very, very important. That solar sector also really is coming as a renewable, it's a green, it's a energy one has to see. But at the regional level, we don't hear about these things. We don't hear about this thing. And that is where our main kind of concern lies. So that one is strong and urgent action at the BIMSTEC, whether it is Dhaka office or at Bangalore office, they need to take it the kind of look at the region and outsource out or do something else, have their own staff to do some research and produce this data that what is happening in the region, where is the drawback and how to fill those gaps. So that would be important, and how to address these drawbacks. And only then it would be possible to have informed and solid policy making. Otherwise, haphazard policy would be made, they will be not implemented, like it is happening in Sri Lanka, India, everywhere. It is same story, Malini, here also. We are very progressive laws, but they are not implemented. Thank you.